Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forward Science Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing new Access map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's Southern player, then going counterclockwise, we have in Light Oak Tan, Team 1's Hell Virus. Virus for short, he is an Aeon for this match as a 1200. To his northeast, we have in Chevy Crimson, the Aeon player of Chap. He is a 1300. To his north, and regardless on hit for Team 1 is the Rust player of Battlefront. He is a UEF as a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. And next door to him, it is the 1900 rated player of Akpuk. He is an Aeon in Stitch Blue. And last but not least for Team 1 in Glow in the Dark Green, it is Cheville. He is a UEF. He is a 1200. So for Team 1 side of the map, they only have Aeons and UEF, 3 Aeons, 2 UEF. No Cyberns, no Seraphim for Team number 1. Starting for Team 2's, let's go clockwise this time. Eastern-ish most player. Then going, like I said, clockwise, we have in Royal Blue, Team 2's Cups. He is a Seraphim as a 1400. To his southwest, it is in Ruby Red, Dilly Dally as a Cybern as a 1600. In the regular slot hit for Team 2, we have Katawanga in Lightish Red Pink as a UEF. Again, he is an 1800 highest rated player on Team 2. And in orange color orange, to his north is Sorcery as an Aeon in orange to color orange. And last but not least for Team 2 in forest green, the best color in all Supreme Commanderdom. It is Nabarwasser in forest green as a Cybern as a 1500. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions with 2 Cyberns. So 1 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, and 1 UEF as well. So for the entirety of this match, Team 1 does not have Cybern and Seraphim tech. Team 2 has all of them available to them, which means we'll see a lot of Colossus in this game. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at how much income they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 2,600. That's 260 mass per player. We've gotten a couple of matches so far where there's been just no reclaim. Very unfortunate. But the map does make up for it a tiny bit and some decent grouping of mexes here. We're taking a look at Team 1 side of the map being the northeastern side. We'll count this as Team 1 side of the map as well. There's a Trimex position here and here and here. There's one over here as well. In the Midwest-ish, there's one right here, and there's a Twin Mex up there to the north. So there's 3 Trimex, 2 on the east, 2 in the middle, and a Twin Mex in the north. Oh, and another Trimex up here, so there's actually 6 of them on the map. So there is a decent amount of mexes, especially for 5 players. That's at least 1 Trimex position per player, and then a little bit else kind of thrown in there for everyone to fight over. We do see a couple of pawns in the middle of the map. I don't think there'll be that much of an influence. Maybe cruisers at the not minimum, but the most, I would presume. I don't think there'll be that much, especially being that far away from players' base. I mean, really, you're going to get some cruiser missiles, and maybe they'll reach, for example, Virus's base from Cups' position, but I highly doubt it. A couple of Team 1 bombers inbound from Team 2 going after Virus's base, trying to deny. I don't even know what that one was shooting at, but it was shooting at something. Looks like the bomber over here going after a couple of engineers. Will take out 2 and then 2, so 1 engineer remains. Trying to build a Team 1 AA gun, but is going to get denied here. That engineer does get taken out by that bomber. Unfortunately for Team 1, that expansion in the engineer department will be slowed down, and the Pigeons will be slowed. That bomber has killed off 7 engineers so far, doing a great job of just slowing down Team 1's expansion. Over there in the west, we do see Nabarwasser pushing in and going for a spam facility like I've seen in those nonsense games before. Just spam, 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 Team 1, and then some. Gun has been started hit for him. Gun has been started for his opponent of Cheville in the northwest-ish. We do see Akpuk shifting over to here as well. Looks like he has claimed the northwestern corner for himself and for his team. And in the southeast, Team 2 has claimed most of it, but they are sharing a little bit here from Hellvirus. But does look like his engineer nearby will maybe grab that other mix. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like he's grabbed 2 of the 3 of them, to be fair, that Katawanga built. So that is a nice little thing to be able to just take a structure from somebody and not have to spend the mats for it. Cup starting his upgrade in the water there. Upgrade is done for Cheville. In the middle, it looks like it's going to be kind of a disconjointed mess. We have one player for Team 2 here and here. And we have two players for Team 1 here and here. So realistically, we'll say a 2v2 scramble in the middle of the map. 2v1 in favor of Team 1 over here. And a 2v1 in favor of Team 2 over here. So a little bit, again, kind of shifting in a counterclockwise manner here for Team 1 and Team 2. Team 2 focusing more on the eastern side. Team 1 focusing on the western side. Gun speed has been started for Chap in the middle. Looks like the first com-on-com action might happen either between these two players or these two. Actually, it might actually happen over here. Speaking of which, Nabarwasser is retreating. He has gun on board and Cheville has gun on board. So the possible com-on-com engagements here in mostly every lane of the map so far. But it does look like Cups is actually going to break through the water's tension and make his way northward and actually sandwich Team 1's Cups between those two commanders. Team 1's Battlefront is over here to the east going for some more mexes. And the first com-on-com action does happen in the middle of the map here between Chap and Cups. T1 mechs taken out by a nice little bomber from Cups anyways, and Sorcery's inbound to assist. It may just be a shove Team 1 away kind of approach. It doesn't look like Cups is trying to catch up to him. There is some reinforcements, but nothing too crazy for Team 2 to handle. There's not enough to really be worried about. We do see in the west, speed has been started here for Ogpuck. He has range already. And now we see Cheville going after Nabarwasser's commander, who's rooted to the spot on a stealth upgrade. 7,500 versus 44. That's not great. Team 1 engineers nearby to assist Nabarwasser's commander in finishing that upgrade. And it will finish, but he's dropping into the red. He does get a nice little boost in hit points, though, which will allow him to survive a little bit longer and get away. And it would have been very close to dying, but of course he does make it out just barely. A couple of bombers inbound. Take out the radar installation. T1 PD is built, and Nabarwasser kind of just setting his feet on fire there. Gun has been started by Dilly Dally in the east, and Hellfire is going for a T2 upgrade. So more defensive versus offensive here for Team 2. We do see Team 2 has now grabbed the middle of the map here with Cups and Sorcery hanging out there. So real no middle pressure here from either team, kind of keeping things a little bit more mild. Most of the action happening on the southeast and northwestern sides of the map. Speaking of which, Ogpuck is now pressuring Nabarwasser. Nabarwasser is going to be the first departure of the game for his team and for the game. That's going to not feel good here. And of course, my favorite color departs first. That's unfortunate, but it does happen, of course. It is now a 5v4 in favor of the northeastern team of Team 1. Team 2 still has another Cyber player of Dilly Dally, but again, they only have one possible telesnipe player rather than the two that they started off with. And Team 1 looks like they're going to put a little bit less pressure on Team 2 on this western side to kind of just alleviate some concerns there. And of course, they can also just focus on ecoing now that they've dealt with the only player on that side of the map, at least pressuring with their comm. Northwestern corner of the map here, though, from Team 2's Sorcery, he transported some units up, got some facilities online, is now pressuring a couple of mexes here from Ogpuck. He'll deal with that quite easily, unfortunately, here for Sorcery, but again, it is an annoyance at a minimum, and he can actually send those units eastward as well. In the east, speaking of which, we do see a speed upgrade in T2 coming on the way here for Battlefront, and for, that's a Blaze, that's not what I want, that's for Chap. Gun speed range, damage and range started for Catawonga, and Dilly Dally running forward with his stealth and gun comm. Hellfire trying to get some T2, T1 PD online, but I think he's going to get denied by that comm. Again, it's a T2 versus a gun and stealth comm. Team 2's Dilly Dally will win that fight quite easily. A couple of overcharges will help, but that PD is going to try to throw Dilly Dally back. But once the comm of Catawonga is done with his upgrade, 2v1, even with one T2 PD, is more than enough for Team 2 to handle. And especially with Hellfire trying to catch up to Dilly Dally. He's not in the best engagement point here, especially with no gun upgrades. And it just favors Team 2 in that engagement. In the middle of the map, Team 2 is starting to push to the hillside over here for Chap. And Cups is starting to be pushed back a little bit. It is a gun upgrade versus a speed upgrade. So gun speed and range versus just the speed upgrade, giving Cups a slight advantage there. And he's also sitting at one veterancy, Chap sitting at none. It does look like Sorcery is now fallen back from the middle, shifting westward to protect that flank, while we see the rest of these units being scooped up by Akpuk. He's going to go for veterancy. T1 is, no, not T1, but 1 star is done. He's probably going to get 2, maybe 3 by the time he's done, considering how much spam is being output by Sorcery, but we'll just have to check the numbers back in a minute. There are some T1 bombers to assist from Cheville, so that might kind of suck away a little bit of that veterancy from Team 1's commander. But now we see in the east, Hellvirus gets double teamed by Catawonga and Dilly Dally, and realistically with 2 gun comms, we kind of knew that was going to happen. Hellvirus didn't fall back as soon as he probably should have, especially with that engagement with Dilly Dally, and it wasn't tenable at that point. And now it is a 4v4 tied up game here at 12.5 minutes. T3 Air should be either done or almost online. Team 2 has their T3 upgrade, as well as another player of Dilly Dally going for air and a secondary T2 air facility. It's nice to have a backup, but it's not needed, at least in this case. Team 1 has 2 T3 air players, so it is a 2 air game and 3 land game, roughly, which is very strange given it's a 5v5. Usually you see that 6 and up, but I guess given there's quote-unquote 3 lanes, roughly, being the northwest, the middle, and the southeast, kind of tends to go that way, but you got to have a jungler in there. You got to have, a couple other roles in there as well. Bomber inbound, going after a couple of engineers to the east. T1 AA nearby. Looks like it tried to masquerade as a nice little T1 PD emplacement. There is one over there, and there's more being built all the time. This is an upper plateau with no access instead of southway, so that's go all the way around. So it does give a little bit of time for Chap to move in with his advanced range and speed commander. He is getting Aeon Sniper Commander online. He is back up almost into the green, but definitely probably should get at least a 1 shield upgrade on board just to protect a little bit more, because Aeons do not get regen. We do see Sorcerer going for his speed upgrade. He's going for shield upgrade. He already has speed on board. And it doesn't look like Champ is going to go for the shield as of right now. The central position here for Team 2 has a couple of AA emplacements and now a couple of TMLs and radar coming online here. That's going to prove a little bit more annoying for Team 1 to deal with. In the north, still Team 1's Akpuk just running around, getting some veterancy, not really worried about a whole lot of stuff. 2-star veterancy now on board. He will definitely get up to 3 with his commander by the time this thing is done and over with. I feel like that's just a mass sync at this point, just spamming up units, not really doing a whole lot. I feel like that mass would be better served maybe going after some more mechs upgrades, maybe building more T2 units or something. In the middle, we do see Seville going to go after Sorcery, or actually Sorcery go after Seville in this case. We do see a decent amount of Team 1s here, not a lot of T2. We do see some buzzkills, Team 1 PD, T2 PD, trying to be built all the time, but trying to decide on which one to go for. Sorcery will engage. And there's a lot of T2 support. Cheville has to retreat. He has gun and T2, so he can fight back quite easily against all of this Team 1 Aurora spam. We can one-shot them quite easily, but again, has to be very careful not to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. We do see T2 push down here in the east at the same time that Camp is sending his forces west, or his comm west, but he gets sniped by that TML. He got sniped by that TML. Ooh, that's not great. Cups is like, what? My TML hit? Yeah, that was a kill from that TML. Nice grab there. That is the play of the game so far. Sorry I didn't zoom in on the missile soon enough, but that was great here by Team 2's Cups. That is now putting Team 1 at a deficit of 2 players rather than just 1. At the same time that Cheville is losing tons of territory over here to the west. His frontline position is knocked out. That Triumph position now under control of Team 2. Cheville is starting to push back a little bit with the amount of units starting to diminish from Sorcery. A lot of the T2s are gone. It is, of course, speed and shield versus gun and T2, so it does put the advantage offensively in favor of Team 1, especially with Akpuk pretty much done with Sorcery's other positions up here. He'll come in and assist and make it a 2v1. There is a Harbinger nearby. No, that's not a Harbinger. Sorry, that is a Brick nearby. So, again, there's a slight advantage in, obviously, numbers, but in terms of raw power, I still think Cheville has it. The comm department. We do see now a couple of T1 Zooey inbound taking out a Blaze, I believe, from Battlefront's eastern side. He has control essentially of the entire eastern side of Team 1's lineup now. A couple of Harbingers running around to assist with defenses and getting online. Team 1 Zui inbound on a transport, and a foothold has been slowly established, but not that much. I feel like a Team 1 land facility would definitely have been ordered just to prevent a total loss of position. And the Zui will instantly fire going after the Fervors here. And the Fervors will get taken out by the Zui. But the Zui are pretty much bottled together. Two of the Zui immediately taken out by a couple of artillery shots. But two still remain, and there's more inbound anyway. So it's not really going to go Team 2's way in that regard. Missile outbound going for most likely more mexes. Volcano trying to be established, but it will not be built in time to prevent the destruction of one T2 mex that is ranked. That is 9 mass a second. That Battlefront just lost. But his TMD will finish soon, and there's more TMD down here as well. So, and that tactical missile was knocked out anyways, so kind of a moot point at that point. One missile, one T2 mex, definitely worth it. Obviously would have liked more. Gunship inbound from Katawanga to defend against a couple of units from Cheville. And now we see that Okpuk is slowly making his way. And it could just be a death hit for Sorcery. Sorcery has dropped actually pretty low. He's going to get his full shield back up here shortly. Lots of Team 1 AA spam. Cheville could easily just walk him down at this point. He knows he's weak. The shield is almost back online. Actually, no. It looks like the shield is fully back online and is now covering for the comm. But we do see Okpuk is not going to hit the comm off at the pass. Decides to let him go. Couple of air forces running around, not only for Okpuk but also for Battlefront. So I think Team 1 has air control for now. There's some ASFs online for Team 2's Dilly Dally and Katawanga. We do see a nice little frontal assault here inbound from Battlefront. And again, the downside with having two players down on the other team in terms of Team 2 versus Team 1. Team 1's Battlefront has 3 bases, not only his starting base, but the 2 other bases from his dead teammates, which means he has triple base, which means 235 mass income. He's producing roughly half of his team's eco. Actually, no, that is half of Team 1's eco. Team 2 is slightly above them in terms of totals at 500 even, but Battlefront can scale due to the fact he has more mass. More mass means more upgrades means more mass equals more upgrades, or RASCOMs, or whatever. A couple of T3 restore gunships inbound for Sorcery Commander. He's back into the yellow, but Okpuk is inbound. And there's ASFs coming to shield said gunships. This might just be a kill here for Team 1. It is going to take a little bit, though. Those restorers not great at the air-to-ground damage, but of course there's still an 8,000 hit point shield they have to chew through as well. So there's still a lot of stuff to chew through, but I don't think Sorcery's going to get to any sort of protection anytime soon. Okpuk going to get slowly pushed back by a couple of bricks, but the ASFs, I mean, at this point, you might as well control K, the comm Sorcery, over or underneath all those ASFs and get a huge chunk of ASFs killed off, because he's most likely dead. ASFs from Team 2 are nowhere, because they know if they engage, that's a dead group of ASFs. Another restore has been added to the mix, expediting the destruction process of the comm. ASFs are going to make it out of range of the dead comms, or the comms explosion. Yes, they do. The restorers, they take some chunk of hit points, but nothing too terrible. So Team 2 loses a player. It is now a 3v3 tied-up game. Once again, Okpuk has dropped into the yellow because of a couple of bricks. Units transferred over to Katawanga. Now Cheville going for more PD. A little bit further back, get some Team D and AA to protect as well. But again, Okpuk should be fine. 11,000 mass killed, 5-star veteran scene. Nothing too concerned for him, and he does get a nice little overcharge to finish off that brick. There are more bricks inbound, though, from Katawanga now. He has to just be careful how long he sits there, but he should be fine. There's a shield nearby, and we do see Cheville moving in as well. Looks like, actually, Dilly Dally gaining control of that western side. So splitting up a little bit of who gets what base. It looks like, actually, Dilly Dally gets 2 bases, so now he's on triple base, producing 300 mass per second, actually outproducing Battlefront's mass at 275. 21 minutes on the clock here. Team 1 has lost Hellvirus and Chap, making it a 3-player game here for Team 1. Team 2 has lost Sorcery and recently Sorcery, but earlier Nabarwasser, making it a 3v3 game in favor of nobody, because it's a tie game. Team 2 is in favor of the mass income, though, 620 to 560, so about 60 mass in favor for Team 2. Nothing terribly more than Team 1, but it is concerning if the trend line does continue. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying your weekend after the very much gorging at Thanksgiving and then the shopping spree that is Black Friday. I mean, maybe not in person as much, but the online shopping. And really, Black Friday now is kind of like a shopping week, shopping month, shopping 2 months kind of. It's not just a one day in the morning, 5 a.m. kind of thing. It's a Tuesday, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon kind of thing. Like, it's not really a huge thing like it used to be 10, 15 years ago. You see a nice little squadron or so of Team 1 bombers from Catawunga, just trying to go after a couple of labs inbound from Okpuk. Nothing too crazy, just units running around at this point. Base coming online here for Battlefront. He wants to make sure he's protected. T2 and T3 PD. I love the mix of PD. So that way they can deal with a little bit more faster moving units and slower moving units. But of course the Ravagers have a nice little bonus to range than all of the other T2 PD on the market. Granted, that's why they're T3 PD instead of T2. In the east, couple of Harbingers nearby Dewey Dow's commander. One of them gets annihilated by that overcharge. And again, that's 4,600 damage. Overcharge from Cups almost takes out 2 with 1 shot. And Team 1 bombers inbound to assist with defense. And they'll be dealt with quite easily. Nothing really concerning there. A couple of mexes got taken offline, but again, frontline mexes get taken offline all the time, so it's not really a huge concern. A couple of mexes here for Dilly Dally will be taken out. Harbingers will... The wall section wasn't loading in for a second. They'll just avoid the wall section and go after this group of mexes. Again, 6 mass a second. Same mass income as a standard T2 mex. So nothing, again, too crazy. But, you know, it's 6 mass a second. It's something. Gunships... Those are broadswords, and they're inbound for Dilly Dowy's commander, it looks like. And they're taking out some bombers, which they have no business taking out. Are there any ASFs to guard the incoming gunships? No, there's not. So Team 2 is going to wipe the floor with them. It's just a snipe attempt. It looks like they don't see Dilly Dowy's commander in time. They do see it now. Pings go down. Dilly Dally is going to be targeted. Is it going to be fast enough, though? There are a ton of ASFs over here from Catawunga and some AA support from Cups. And Dilly Dally will survive, but he's lost half his hit points. Unfortunate for Team 1. Love the attempt, though. Definitely needed some AA coverage, or air coverage, I should say. Because that could have been an air win for Team 1 had they engaged, but it actually looks like Team 1 had an air engagement, and they lost, it looks like. So maybe questioning why they had the assault from the gunships to begin with? Because Team 1 was definitely in the lead, but maybe they just pulled them back a little bit. I don't know. Kind of just looks like Team 2 had an air fight recently or something. In the west, Okpuk still pushing in. We are seeing a lot of some bouncers running around as well as some bricks here. Again, Okpuk, he does have regular shield, doesn't have shield heavy, has full veterancy, so 24,000 hit points total. But I just think 26 minutes on the clock, it's a little bit too far forward, especially this late in the game. Snipes can easily happen, even by a couple of squadrons of T2, T1 bombers, or fighter bombers, I should say. It's just, I don't think it's worth the risk. We even see bricks are catching up to Okpuk's commander. This actually might be the death of Okpuk, because the bricks can easily engage, and they can keep up with the Aeon sniper commander that is Okpuk. Overcharge does, again, whittle down the units count quite considerably, and there's another air fight over here to the east. Team 2 is going to win that. It is now an air dominance game here for Team 2. Gunships are inbound. Okpuk is dead. He's dead. Push too far forward. Team 1 bombers are just going to cement that kill. Look at all those bombers inbound. There he goes. Okpuk is defeated by bricks and Othams and T3 gunships and Team 1 bombers, making this now a 2v3 in favor of Team 2. And that puts Cheville in control of the entire western side, and then Battlefront's been in control of the entire eastern side for a while now. In comes Team 1 at 940, Team 2 840, so the script has flipped once again. Team 1 is in the lead for mass control. And again, that constant back and forth, it just takes one shift for it to be just enough mass to produce artillery, produce a nuke, produce game ender, produce whatever first. Granted, it's not always the case in winning, but getting it built sooner trend-wise usually leads to a win. Usually. Not always, not 100%, and not 0%, but I'd say a little over 50, maybe 51%. I don't know the exact stats, but that's just me making up a statistic off the top of my head, because it's either they build it first and they win, or they build it first or they lose. Those are really only the two options. Lots of ASFs, of course, being produced by the two air grids now here. They are both UE. No, one's Aeon, one UEF, so no easy double-click on the ASFs and you select all of them kind of thing. Tech missile has been started for Cheville. Maybe we'll see Billy Nuke, maybe? Does have T3 engineering suite on board and a lot of engineer support, so it is possible. We do see Bricks over here running around the western edge, trying to snipe at a couple of land facilities and mexes. And now we see the ASF starting to congregate, whatever C word over there. There are ASF sitting over here for Team 2 as well. It looks like Cups is going to send a nice little group of Althams. No experimentals that I've noticed. I probably missed the notification if one was built. Probably. I don't see any little circles around the map as of right now. Air grid, T3 air facility. So 3 T3 air headquarters here for Team 2's players. RAS facility pumping out a couple of those SACU support commanders. But I don't see anything super crazy as of yet. So no experimentals that I can see. Not even some that are even started. And maybe I missed it. Looks like SMD is going to be able to for Battlefront just in case. Love to see that. Oh, there is a Colossus being produced by him. So that is one experimental I've seen so far. And on the west, just more bricks moving in on that western side. Again, nothing too crazy to worry about, but it is something to just keep in the back of my mind, and is also Team 2 and Team 1's players' minds as they look around the map. Omni in the middle of the map. Love to see that. Does Team 2 have one? Yep, they have one right here. So, again, a little bit more forward for Team 2, but this one's decent. Definitely position-wise, Team 2 is more central, but it still covers pretty much the entire map, so not a big deal. This isn't a 20 by 20. I'd say it's probably about 15 to 16, so that would make sense why I can cover the entire map there. Gunships continuing to stack up here for Team 2. There is an experimental. Apologies, I just missed it in the mix of the everything down here. Dilly Dally builds a Monkey Lord. Again, Cybran, cheapest experimental in the game, at least land-wise, at least, is the Monkey Lord. And it is inbound, and gunships are inbound, and ASFs are coming in to screen. And it is not looking a good day here for all of the Harbingers and Redeemers over here. There is not as much flak as I would like to see. There's more flak inbound, though. But the AA is being targeted, of course. Take out the stuff shooting at you, then take out all the other stuff that can't shoot at you. ASFs are inbound. Team 2 still is going to win that air fight. And there's more gunships being added to the stack all the time. There could be a deadly amount of gunships if they can get further in. There is some T2 and T3 stationary defenses up here to the north, though, for Battlefront, so they can't just rush in entirely. But they can still eat away at the T1 units with the long-range cannons aboard the Monkey Lord. In the east, there is some flat cannons. Looks like there are gunships inbound for that position, though. T3 mechs, T3 mechs, T3 mechs. So 3 T3 mechs. AA they think is a little bit too strong, so they go, not worth it. The western side kind of died down in action. Those bricks have actually curved all the way around, and that could be a little bit of concern here for Battlefront. He's going to lose 27 times 3, which is 25 times 3 plus 2 times 3, which is 81 mass per second. He's going to lose that if those gunships don't deal with that quick enough. Surprised no T1 PDs being spammed up. Those bricks are going to reach there before those engineers even do anything. There are some Percys down here, but they're not going to reach there in time. So that is going to be 3 dead T3 mexes. Very unfortunate for Battlefront. Monkey's still kind of just poking and prodding at Team 1's eastern line. Lots of PD being built right here. Would love to see the radar system be protected, though, but not a super vital structure, especially with an Omni in the middle. Nothing really big happening in the middle. Speaking of which, a couple of just roaming bands of engineers and AA units. Nothing super crazy. A couple of Autumns as well. SMD and SMD pointed out by Team 2's dead. Well, one of Team 2's dead comms. The other one is alive. Does somebody have a nuke? Usually that's one of the reasons why you would point out all the SMDs that your opponents have. I don't see anything like that. So no long range nonsense so far here. 32 minutes on the clock here. Team 1, do you have anything long range nonsense? Colossi, SMDs, nothing super, super crazy. No satellites. Another Omni over to the west. Love to have a backup. That's it. Oh, nope. Another Colossus over here. Lots of engineers stacking up for that. But no real big ticket items. I'm kind of surprised to not see not even a nuke at 33 minutes on the clock here. There is a crab, there's a monkey, and there's soon to be 2 colossi. That's about it. It does look like all 3 mixes were taken out. It is unfortunate. That's, again, 81 mass per second that Battlefront is losing. Team 1 is now down in mass income, 1.3K versus Team 1's 1,000. I'd say at least 250 mass ahead for Team 2 at a minimum at that point. And there's a lot of those T3 gunships running around. It looks like they're going to go for that conga line of T1 units there from Cheville. Go back, says Cheville. For Battlefront, looks like gunships are maybe stacking up to go for a comm. GC says Katawanga. GC says Nabarweiser at 60%. This one up here is done, and it's on its way south. And it looks like nothing too crazy as of yet on the western side. It's a little bit of pushing here with just engineers and a couple of T2 units and a couple of AA units, but nothing, again, too crazy. Team D says Okpuk, talking about the fact that maybe there's some Team D that needs to be deployed over there, just in case there's some missile launching from Team 2 side of things. Lots of units stacking up here. That's probably where that Colossus is going to meet up. Actually, no. Looks like he's going to meet up in the middle, and the comm of Battlefront's going to go back to this position. Still, there's really no huge push from either team. Both of the experimentals from Dilly Dally Moo in the middle. Again, they're going to intercept the Colossus, I presume. So the main fighting might actually happen in the middle. We saw some Himen and Sahan and some back in the 4th and whatnot on the eastern and western sides. But it looks like the middle will see the first major action of the game. Huge amounts of ASFs, though, for both sets of players on each team. We see 189 plus an additional maybe 100 or so, 111. So let's say 300 ASFs for Team 2. Battlefront sitting at 250. So a little bit in favor of Team 2. But again, with huge numbers like that, AA is very, very important. We do see an attack has started to commence, though. Crab going to lead it. Monkey Lord behind it. There are, of course, a couple of Ravagers, a couple of T2 PD shields are about to be upgraded, which will be a huge boost because the shield will fully regen once it upgrades to T3. Will it actually get the chance to do so, though? Shots not inbound as of yet. 37%, 38%. Monkey Lord engages the crab. Actually, Monkey Lord engages the Colossus with the crab supporting it. Shield is online, so it gets its full shield back very, very quickly there. But it looks like Team 1 is going to lose this fight. Colossus goes down without even killing off the Monkey Lord. There is some T2 and T3 PD still here. Monkey Lord will be taken out by the... Oh, looks like it barely charged enough shots. Airfight does not occur. Team 2 does not take that engagement. And it looks like with the crab here, there will be enough hit points to tank the shots to take out this base here from Battlefront. In the east, there is a Colossus standing there. That definitely would have been helpful over here, but they want defenses over there in the east. Don't blame them in that regard. In the west, units stacking up, nothing too much of a concern. The gunships, though, is a threat to either Team 1's remaining players' lives, specifically Cheville because he's far forward, but obviously there could be a sniper attempt on Battlefront. That Monkey Lord does make it out of range, but honestly, it didn't really accomplish that much. They took out a Colossus, which is big, of course, but that mass is on Team 1's side of the map, so not really that much of a win. More of a, hey, we took out some stuff and we lost some stuff, and that's it. Had the gunships come in here from Team 2's Katawanga, maybe it would have been a different story. The crab slowly is just being ripped apart by Ravagers. Team 1 artillery units just to distract some of those Ravager cannons, but again, the long range kind of makes them not ineffective, but not great. Gunships, moving in over here, maybe going after the Colossus. ASF's just shadowing those group of ASFs. Team 1, do you have any big ticket items in store? Because that's probably going to be the only thing that's going to save you at this point. Fat Boy has been started. Colossus off the line. Another Colossus has been started. Team 2. More air grid, more air grid, more air grid. Love to see that. Nice little crab online. Artillery has been started, so long-range artillery is on the cards here. More mass fabs and whatnot for Cup. So really 37 minutes on the clock here, and we've seen the first instances of long-range nonsense. Gunships, again, just poking and prodding at the shields. ASFs are brought forth, and there is the air fight that Team 2 really wanted, and that's a great engagement because those ones from Battlefront actually turn around at not a great moment. There is some flak over here, so that will help a little bit, and there is some more AA. It's just a scatter fest here. Neither of those players from either team really just, do the whole circle thing really tight. Team 2 wins that fight. Lots of dead ASFs everywhere on this eastern side. Look at all those clumps of numbers over there. That is just a lot of them. Current standing on mass in Reclaim 143 and counting. Team 1 wins that. I'd say at least 150 ASFs still for Dilly Dally and Catawunga. That's 100, and then probably about 50 or so, about 80, so 170. Plus they retain about a squadron of gunships, and now 3 T3 mechs taken offline. So they did get a little bit more bang for their buck there from Team 2 side of things, and they took, again, more mechs. But they did lose a lot of ASFs, which, not great, but Team 1 lost pretty much all of theirs anyways. So 150 plus ASFs. That's air supremacy. If not, we own air at this point for Team 2. And in the west, Bowie Nuke Lands takes out a couple of units there. Middle, Crab and Crab Brethren is inbound, or are inbound. T3 Ravager spam has now been started just to, again, slowly push against this group of units. Colossus is inbound. Again, it's a 2v1 advantage in favor of Team 2, and you can see that just by the hit points disappearing. And, of course, all the T3 support nearby as well doesn't help that Colossus's case. And there is another Megalith, so it's going to be 3v1. 2 Colossi inbound from the east. They're not in the middle, which, again, they really needed to be there. Looks like transport got crushed by a Colossus. Don't see that every day. Looks like repair efforts probably started soon here on the eastern side for Battlefront. They really need a big ticket item to really just have the game swing in their direction. Mass income still in favor of Team 2. Now it's 400 mass income. Artillery is about to tick over into the green. That's really the only thing Team 2 is doing long range. Looks like the other 2 players focused more on land and air efforts. Second Colossus wreck next door to the first one. Artillery raining in, takes out a couple of units and TMD. Ravagers are still firing at a couple of Team 1 spam units. Colossus goes, yeah, that's not worth it. And again, it's 3v2. Actually, it's 4v2. Chicken doesn't care. Chicken's going to continue forward. You can't scroll and give orders. What? Don't know what he's talking about in that regard. But it's not a great engagement here for the Colossi for Team 1. And it's just not really going their way at this point. Once that artillery finishes, I think that's going to be game at that point. What a timing, says Catawunga. In reference to what another crab has been built on the western side here for Dilly Dally. Looks like that's where he's producing all of his experimentals. More air grid, more air grid, more air grid. Artillery almost about to tick over into the green. There is some pressure on the western side, but there's a ton of AA. I mean, there's I keep saying AA. Tons of ASF and gunships. That's not going to go anywhere. And with 4 dead Colossus, with no dead crabs or monkey back up into the yellow, it's not going well for Team 1. So if we're rooting for Team 2, it's looking pretty close to Team 2 winning at this point. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 crabs plus a chicken that disappeared. The chicken's right there underneath all of the ASFs, barely holding on. 4,000 hit points remaining on that unit. There is 1 Fat Boy, but again, 1 Fat Boy, 3 crabs, not going to work. 2 Colossi are inbound. That's going to help a little bit. But again, it's just I don't think Team 1 has enough. There's another Colossus inbound. It's a 3v3 versus the crab situation. Just don't know. The crab are now in range of the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy has lost its shielding. 1 volley. 2 volleys inbound, 3 volleys in. Oh, that's a dead fat boy. Goodbye. And now we have the crossing of the beams here for the Colossus. It has given them a little bit of time to go after 1 crab, but there's already reclaiming going down on the other Colossi Rex. So even if Team 1 kills off these 3 crabs, that's a lot of mass that Team 2 just got from Team 1. It has been sitting there for a little bit, to be fair, but still. Reclaim situation, Team 1 and Team 2 actually tied roughly 130,000 mass each. But Team 2 is still in the lead. Almost 2 million mass produced / gathered, collected, reclaimed, whatever. Another Billy Nuke lands on top of a couple of crabs. Crabs are not happy about that. And Cheville knows it. And he's like, I'm happy to see a buy. And goes back to his main base, at least towards that direction. Artillery is now done for Team 2's Seraphim player of Cups, getting more pigeons to assist with the fire rate on board that. And it looks like more chicken production for Cups as well. Again, no nukes. No game enders, 1 artillery piece, no satellites, no really big ticket items, just pretty much main line units in terms of T3, T4, that sort of thing, and that's it. So really more based on the strategy rather than just, I'm going to build 30 artillery pieces or 30 satellites or 2 game enders or 8 game enders and call it a day kind of thing. A little bit of a different game. It's not as exciting or big ticket items, but it is nice to have kind of a more calmer game, especially after the 2 days of holiday with family and whatever else was going on with your life. Hopefully, nice little enjoyment. Take a little break from all the craziness and sit back, relax, and watch some big giant mechs or big giant robots or whatever you want to call these things run around and destroy one another. Looks like the artillery still landing on this position here for Battlefront. Looks like trying to take out the air grid here and maybe move over here. It's already been shielded, to be fair, so that is the idea. T3 artillery has been started for Battlefront. Might be a little too late on that front. And those 4 Colossi, though, have taken out 3 crabs. So that is something for Team 1. They need to get engineers out stat to scoop up all the reclaim. Boo Nuke inbound, slowly eroding all of the crabs' HP. Look at this. 1 veterancy, though. 34,000 hit points remain. And Cheville not stopping firing that Billy Nuke. 51,000 mass killed with that comm alone. Obviously, that's not all Billy Nuke, but that's most of it. I hear strap bombers. There they are going after those Colossi, and some of them do land. And there is some flag. ASAPs do engage once again. Again, Team 2 has the numbers, especially with a little bit here from Cups, but mainly it's been Dilly Dally and Catawunga spearheading the air effort. There is some AA. There's not a lot. But look at that, just clean sweep by Team 2. Once again, there is some AA down here. That is not to be underestimated, but there's not enough numbers to make a difference. And there's another nuke that lands on that megalith. Really just having a hard day, that megalith. Colossus is inbound. That will kill that megalith, but that megalith will kill that Colossus. So it's a rock, paper, scissors, wizard nonsense. Yeah, sorcery spots it. And those 2 crabs go. I'm just going to go home now. Artillery going to land a nice little bank of... Nope, not going to land on the PD. Going to land on that shield that has been built and the shield that is trying to be built. Not has an adjacency, though, so that's a little unfortunate there. But again, only 1 artillery piece isn't a huge concern. It's annoying, but it's not a huge concern. Colossus is going to be hit by a couple of strap bombers. But it looks like Team 2 has spotted Cheville's commander. Sorry, Cheville, that is a dead comm. There's a lot of Cougars. It's not going to save the first volley, though. There he goes. That's got to hurt. Team 2 drops to 1 player remaining. That is Battlefront versus the World. Boo Nuke, last-ditch effort. Is it going to hit a crab? Is it going to hit something? Do we have any loyalists? Yes, we do. There's one in there hiding underneath that crab. Ooh, that was not great, which means where they were standing, or where that column was standing, is going to get nuked again. But wait, hold on. Where'd that Bowie nuke go? It got redirected. I saw it. Where did it go? It just went into the... Oh, maybe because the comm died, it disappeared? Huh. Weird. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Colossus down the line. Chicken over here. That Team 1 is starting to turn the tides. They are pretty close to that artillery. They can get it. If they full steam ahead, they can get that artillery piece. They're going to take heavy losses, though, but they will get it. There are some gunships over here. There's a newly minted crab over here moving in to intercept. There's strat bombers over top slowly eating away at the other T3 land support, but there is 2 heavily dead colossi. 1 about to tick over into the red, 1 almost in the green again, and 1 newly minted off the scene or off the assembly line. So the only issue is they're stopping. And because they're stopping, they're not going to get to that artillery piece, which means it will survive. There's no way. There's so much support here. Maybe the crab will be taken out, but that's a 5 for 1, and I will take that any day of the week. Airfight happens again between Catawonga and Battlefront's ASF, but again, Dilly Dally comes in and goes wipe. Just like a windshield wiper wiping off all the water on your, your windshield. Just clean sweeps all that very easily. 47 minutes on the clock here. Team 1's got to have some big ticket item somewhere, or it is not a good day for them. They're still in this game. They do have an artillery piece that has now just been built, getting more shields, getting PGens for fire rate. Love to see that. I love the fact that there was a shield built before the artillery was built. And again, Cups did that as well, so I'd love to see that. I would love to see 1 more shield at least, and then maybe 1 right there, 1 right there. Colossus is retreating in face of 2 chickens, and the Colossus not going anywhere. That's a lot of mass. That might be game-ending worth of mass. 400,000 mass on the field, enough to build almost 2 game enders. Almost. Where is that shot going? I want to just ask that question. Where is this going? It goes off the map, I think, is where it went. Huh. Don't know why that fired that way. But it did. Weird. Duke is now firing, looks like on the Hovertham's position. But again, the Hovertham has shielding. So does the Duke. But it looks like the SMD is being targeted for Team 1. And it's gone. Does Team 2 have a nuke? No nuke. But again, it's nice to take out an SMD. Artillery landing against some mass fabs and T3 mexes, but again, nothing too crazy. Satellite online. Another satellite has been started. Team 1 needs a miracle and then some to really win this game at this point. And I think I'm going to speed it up because that's just, again, the trend line is favoring Team 2 at this point, especially with the death of Chaville kind of in that direction. Crab running around. Grab, 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 grab. So many crabs. Feeling crabby, anybody? Dang. Another crab, another chicken, 2 chickens. Fat Boy to Colossi. Colossi will win that fight, but still. It was a nice attempt by Team 1, but it just was not enough. All of that has already been reclaimed. What's the totals looking like now? Still relatively, 1 to 2%, I'd say. No, I'd say like 5-6%, but it's still, that's really good considering 1.1 versus almost 2K though. That's a different story. Probably 3 megawatts, says Chaville. Probably being 4. Sorry, probably being 5, and yes, incoming. Duke has landed, takes a couple of air facilities, but again, an air facility of that size, not really a huge concern. Almost like a nice little heart shape here from all those ASF from Dilly Dally. Looks like there's a second artillery piece. No, it's just firing very quickly, it looks like. It looked like 2, but I was mistaken. Unless another one got built somewhere and I didn't even notice. 5 low. He's like, yeah, it's a little bit more than just 3. 3 Colossi, though, not going to be enough, especially with the range advantage. Team 1 does not have enough in the tank at this point. In terms of units, there's really no T3 units. There's a couple of Percy's, but that's not enough. There's more units up here to the north. There's a lot of Cougars, though. Duke is getting a buddy, though, and getting more shielding. It's fully ringed at this point, so it's on par with the Hovertham. And the only issue is it going to be enough, which I don't think it is, especially with the crabs inbound. At this point, I'm going to speed it up to +3. There are 4 Colossi from the south, though, so hold on a second. Team 1's not out of this just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not all of them here, of course. Team 2 has 5. There are a lot of loyalists in the mix, though. I love that many amount of loyalists, especially dealing with a Billy Nuke. That Colossus going to just steamroll himself right over that nice little crab. And I slowed it down way too much. There goes another crab. One Colossus is down. The second one is going to be destroyed. So 2 for 2 so far. 3 for 2 so far. Sorry, 2 for 3 so far. It may get 3 for 5 at this point. There goes that one. And then there goes one more. So 2 Colossi for 5 crabs worth of mass. I would say that's worth it for sure. But there's a lot of, I mean, when I say there's a lot of ASFs, all of them have been transferred over to not Dilly Dam, but Catawonka. But look, 200, 300, 450, we'll say, just to make math really, really easy. And that is a lot of strats. 19 plus the additional ones from Dilly Dally, making it a total of 40-something ASFs just dotted around the map. And they are inbound for Battlefront's comm. He knows it's coming because he can just see the danger. He's trying to get underneath more shield coverage, it looks like. And it's not enough AA. Needs more layering. ASFs are inbound, going for all of those bombers. Bombers are starting to release their payloads. Battlefront probably should start moving. Oh, he's going to survive if there's... Oh, I was going to say, if there's a couple more bombers, it should be enough, though. Battlefront, it's not going to go well. He's going to get it underneath more shielding. ASFs die over top, and that's because Team 1's Battlefront gets taken out. And that is the game. Well, that was epic, says Sorcery. Nah, says Battlefront. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you think it was epic or not. But that's game, folks. Team 2 wins the game. 53 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. MVP for me... I mean, there wasn't really one standout player here for Team 2. I mean, it was nice to see all those strap bombers come in, but there really wasn't like a this player did very, very well kind of thing. Like last episode, last video, if you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about. At least I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you watched it, great. If not, go back and watch it. If you already watched it and you want to watch it again, you might as well just watch it again, because why not? But again, Team 2's MVP, I don't really have a choice. So let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. And of course, as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts, your feelings, everything. Let me know how your holidays went. Of course, thank you so very much for watching to the very, 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 very end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.